In the dim glow of a late autumn evening in 1893, Charles Duryea wiped the grease from his hands and stepped back from the peculiar three-wheeled machine standing in the corner of the workshop. The air carried a mix of burning oil, metal filings, and a quiet tension that only inventors truly understood. His brother, Frank Duryea, bent over the engine one last time, tightening a bolt with the precision of a man who knew failure was not an option. For months they had labored together in this cramped space, transforming sketches into steel, turning bold ideas into a mechanical reality. Their neighbors thought they were wasting time. Some even laughed at the very notion of a self-propelled carriage that didn't rely on horses. But tonight, the brothers felt a shift, a strange confidence humming in the air like the machine itself was waiting to awaken. Frank stepped back, breathing deeply. "This is it," he murmured. Charles gave a slow nod, his eyes fixed on the engine as if willing it to life. The brothers rolled the vehicle outside, the wheels groaning against the uneven ground. The cool night breeze brushed their faces as they prepared for the first attempt. A few curious onlookers gathered near the shadows, whispering among themselves about the odd contraption emerging from the Duryea workshop. Charles positioned himself near the ignition mechanism, and with a firm motion, he turned it. For a second, nothing happened. Silence settled like a heavy curtain. Then, suddenly, the engine coughed. Once, twice, and roared to life with a sputtering vibration that sent a thrill through their chests. The crowd gasped. The strange machine trembled as though unsure of its own existence. Frank climbed onto the driver's seat, gripping the controls with trembling hands. Charles signaled him forward, stepping aside. The motor wagon jerked, shuddered, and then slowly rolled ahead, its engine chugging like a mechanical heartbeat echoing across the empty street. Frank felt the world shift beneath him as the carriage moved without horses, powered only by the engine they had painstakingly constructed. To him, it felt like riding into the future. The few spectators stared wide-eyed, unsure whether to cheer, question, or fear what they were seeing. With each passing foot, Frank's confidence grew. The machine rattled but held together, proving that their months of dreaming and engineering had not been in vain. Charles jogged alongside, smiling with pride and relief. For the first time, he believed they had truly created something capable of changing America. When the vehicle finally returned to the front of the workshop, the engine sputtered to rest, leaving behind a cloud of smoke and a sense of undeniable triumph. That night, beneath the dim street lamps, the Duryea brothers realized they had taken the first true step into a new era, an era where roads would no longer belong only to horses but to machines powered by human ingenuity. 3 years had passed, and by 1896, the Duryea workshop had transformed from a small, cluttered shed into a buzzing center of invention and ambition. The motor wagon was no longer just a strange experiment hidden away from the world. It had become the foundation of America's first true automobile enterprise. Workers moved swiftly across the workshop floor, assembling parts, testing engines, and preparing new vehicles for customers who had heard rumors of a revolutionary horseless carriage. Outside, crates of components arrived by cart, while businessmen in long coats and stiff collars stepped in and out, eager to witness the evolution of a machine that many believed would reshape transportation forever. The atmosphere inside the workshop no longer carried doubt, it carried momentum. Frank Duryea inspected a freshly assembled motor wagon, examining each bolt and panel with the same care he had shown on their first prototype. This version looked stronger, cleaner, and more confident, as though it understood its place in history. Charles stood nearby, speaking to a reporter who had traveled from another city just to document this extraordinary new industry. Words like future, innovation, and progress floated through the air, mixing with the rhythmic clink of tools and the steady rumble of engines being tested. The brothers were not merely inventors now, they were pioneers guiding America toward a future that few had imagined possible. Outside the workshop, a crowd gathered as one of the new motor wagons was rolled into the street for a demonstration. The onlookers included farmers, merchants, curious townspeople, and even travelers from distant states who had come to witness the incredible machine that moved without horses. Frank climbed onto the driver's seat, adjusting the controls he had mastered through countless hours of trial and error. He could feel the weight of anticipation pressing against him. Charles gave a nod, and the engine came alive with a deep, steady growl that silenced the murmurs around them. As the vehicle began to move, the crowd erupted with excitement. Some clapped, others gasped, and a few simply stared in astonishment at the effortless glide of the mechanical carriage. Frank guided the motor wagon down the street, feeling a surge of pride and responsibility. Each turn, each vibration, reminded him how far they had come from those uncertain nights of experimentation. When he circled back, stopping before the cheering spectators, he saw in their faces a mixture of wonder and acceptance. The future had arrived, and they were witnessing it with their own eyes. For the Duryea brothers, this moment was more than a demonstration, it was the realization of a dream that had grown into an industry. Their creation was no longer just a machine, it was the spark that would ignite America's automobile revolution, forever changing the way people traveled, worked, and imagined the world ahead.